Okay, so on this one, we're looking at a pattern in these numbers. So the first number is an 8, the second number is a 13, the third's an 18, the fourth is a 23. They want the fifth, the sixth, the 97, and the nth. So this is kind of challenging. We got to come up with a formula. So let's try it. So how are we going to do it? Well, you can tell what's happening from number to number because we're just adding 5. That's the first and clear observation. So we add 5. This would be 28. We add 5. This would be 33. So that's pretty easy. But how do we get out to the 97th term? That's not so easy. We're going to need the pattern. And how do you find the pattern? Where is the pattern hidden? We got to look under the hood, right? Remember what we do? We bring these numbers down and we write them by what they're made out of. So the 13, that's 8 add 5, right? And the 18, that's 8 add 5 add 5. And the 23, that's 8 add 5 add 5 add 5, etc. Right? You just add another 5 every time. So in other words, this is 8 add 5 3 times. This is 8 add 5 2 times, etc. And so now we look for a connection between the term number and the number that's there. So the 3, and that's a 2. The 4, and that's a 3. Etc. So what's the connection? Clear, and then I got to do 97 and what? Well, it's going to be 8 plus 5 times what number? 96, right? See how it's 1 lower? 3 is 1 lower than 4. 2 is 1 lower than 3. So it's got to be 96, doesn't it? See how it's always 1 lower? So I'm going to write that. So this has got to be 8. Let me create a little room here. This has got to be 8 plus 5 times 96. It's 1 lower, 1 lower. See that relationship? The number multiplied after the 5 is always 1 lower. So then just use your calculator. 8 plus 5 times 96 is 488. So this term must be 488, the 97th term. Now, let's do the same thing with n. So for n, it's going to be 8 plus 5 times n minus 1, isn't it? Does that make sense? Everybody see that pattern? Whatever the starting number, you put 1 lower than that. So if it's n, it's n minus 1. That's what they want you to put in that box right there. 8 plus 5 times n minus 1. That's the pattern. It's always 1 lower than the number. So 1 lower than n is n minus 1. That's how we write that.